My name is Will Lavender, and I'm mentoring Dan Billings. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with Dan these past few months, and we plan to continue working together for a second term in the Author Academy because Dan's work is definitely not finished. It's interesting that Dan and I have clicked so well because I write fiction that's quite a bit different than Dan's. My books are psychological thrillers that play with the concept of reality. My debut novel, Obedience, was published by Crown and has been translated into 17 languages. It was a New York Times bestseller and has been optioned for film and television more than 10 times. My second novel, Dominance, was published by Simon and Schuster. The Release is Dan's first novel. Dan made the decision to enroll in the Author Academy as a way to show himself that he could accomplish the mission of finishing a book. Now that we've worked together for these few months, his goals have changed and become significantly bigger, and for good reason, because Dan's work resonates with authenticity. The Release is the story of Mark, a disenchanted college student who abruptly leaves school and moves in with his Uncle Jim. The book deals with Mark's struggles to adapt as a young man in a frightening world, but also of Mark's family and the fissured, fractured lives they lead. Through these complex, difficult relationships, The Release begins to be a story not only about family, but about how difficult it is to live in a world that's loud, messy, and full of emotional trapdoors. The excerpt I'm going to read features Mark's mother, Teresa, who has fallen out of love with her husband, Robert, as he trains for a triathlon. Teresa's selfishness, but also her humanity, shines through in this short chapter. One of their first dates was at the Indiana sand dunes. She lied to Robert and said she loved hiking because it was one of his favorite hobbies. They drove from Northwestern around Lake Michigan on a late spring day. Bugs everywhere. He loved it. He was perfect, so handsome with a body that seemed to take no work. She never knew him to go to the gym back then. And bright green eyes designed by God himself for only this one man. He looked better than all pictures of the musicians and models hanging on her walls, cut out for magazines. He held her hand the entire hike, while the other holding a basket with a blanket and a meal he prepared for them to enjoy on the beach. Her last boyfriend never did anything romantic. He barely talked to her and definitely didn't like to spend any time with her without a beer in one hand. When Robert found the exact spot, which seemed to be when Teresa first showed signs of tiredness, he let go of her hand. He opened the basket, removed the blanket, and flung it into the air while holding two edges. As it fell to the ground, he winked at her. How could she not love him? 2 months together, and he still planned perfect days for her. And that's what she missed. Somehow, after Robert lost his job, he no longer wanted to celebrate her accomplishments. He didn't spend any time trying to make her smile or feel special or feel anything. Now he focused only on his stupid triathlon on April 27th, the weekend before they were supposed to pick Mark up from Harvester and a few weeks before Rachel returned from Europe. He would sit in their living room, staring at his tablet, reciting exercises he should be doing to her. She loved that he found something he liked because he was very despondent when he lost the job he spent years trying to succeed at. When his team was downsized, he didn't see it coming. No meetings were set up to discuss the plans. He showed up on a Tuesday morning with a 10-minute meeting on his schedule. He didn't even come home. He sat in the car in the parking lot until he called her, T, I lost my job. What do you mean? They laid me off, the whole team just gone. She remembered shaking at a table at a Holiday Inn continental breakfast before telling him, everything will be okay. I'll be home tomorrow. Just take care of Mark and we can talk about it when I get back. Teresa didn't remember ever hearing her husband crying over the phone. And she said the only word she thought might stop the sobbing, I love you. She meant it then. But now she wished he would cry. She wanted something from him. Instead, she got it from other men who wanted to be vulnerable, passionate, and present for her. The first time she hit on a young salesman at a conference, she thought it was a joke. It was a month after Robert lost his job and he wasn't responding to her texts. She took a selfie with her new glass trophy. Wish you were here. The young man bought her a drink. I saw you win Salesperson of the Year. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, and the perfect suit. She didn't understand the style of short pants without socks before, but seeing it on him, she realized she should look through those magazines a bit more and look for new pictures to cut out. Teresa smiled at him, still looking at his ankles, and said, "They just like to give us crappy trophies. I didn't mind seeing you cross the stage." He tapped the fingers on his left hand against the bar. "Can I get you a drink?" Teresa nodded. "Gin and tonic." The salesman waved to the bartender. "Two gin and tonics, please." Teresa looked down at her phone, and the man didn't miss a cue. "Waiting for someone?" "No, just thought my husband would respond. He's probably with his mistress." The young man definitely didn't know what to do with either of those sentiments and stared blankly at Teresa. She loved seeing fear. Thank you.